Stoicism, cultivating inner peace amidst outer turmoil. Life inevitably brings its share of challenges and chaos, moments when everything seems beyond our control. From personal disappointments to global crises, our lives are often marked by external turmoil. In times of instability, however, we can look to the ancient philosophy of Stoicism for guidance. Stoicism offers a practical, disciplined approach to maintaining peace and resilience, helping us understand what is in our control and, perhaps more importantly, what is not. By focusing on our reactions rather than external events, Stoicism empowers us to build an inner fortitude that remains untouched by external upheavals. The Stoic foundations, what can and cannot be controlled. At its core, Stoicism teaches that there is a fundamental distinction between what we can and cannot control. This idea, central to Stoic philosophy, reminds us that our thoughts, attitudes, and responses are within our control, while external events, people's actions, and even our own fate often are not. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Embracing this distinction allows us to step back and examine our emotional reactions. Rather than fighting against circumstances we cannot change, we can choose to accept them and respond in a way that aligns with our values. In this way, Stoicism encourages a mindset of acceptance, not passivity, but an acknowledgement that resisting what is beyond our control only breeds frustration and anxiety. By consciously practicing this separation, we cultivate a sense of inner peace and reduce the influence of external turmoil on our mental and emotional well-being. Practicing the Stoic virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. The Stoics believed in four cardinal virtues that serve as pillars for living a balanced and fulfilling life: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. When we strive to embody these virtues, we strengthen our ability to remain resilient during turbulent times. Wisdom, this is the ability to understand what truly matters and what does not. Wisdom guides us in recognizing what we can control and making informed, thoughtful decisions based on this understanding. Courage is the will to face hardship without being overwhelmed by it. It's not the absence of fear but the resolve to act in spite of it. When facing difficult situations, courage enables us to move forward with strength and clarity. Justice calls us to treat others fairly, maintaining integrity and moral character even in times of adversity. By striving for justice, we avoid letting external chaos justify harmful actions. Temperance is the discipline to moderate our desires and impulses. In moments of turmoil, it reminds us not to overreact or indulge in behaviors that might provide temporary relief but ultimately harm us or those around us. These virtues serve as internal anchors that ground us, helping us remain steadfast when our surroundings are turbulent. As we practice these virtues, we strengthen our internal foundation, which remains stable regardless of the changes happening around us. The power of perspective, reframing negative thoughts. One of Stoicism's most powerful tools is the ability to reframe our perspective. Stoics often emphasized the value of reframing adversity, not as a source of suffering, but as an opportunity for growth. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This idea, often called the obstacle is the way, suggests that rather than viewing challenges as setbacks, we can view them as opportunities to test our resilience and develop inner strength. Reframing requires self-awareness and mental discipline. When faced with difficulties, consider asking yourself, what can I learn from this? Or how can this situation make me stronger? By shifting your focus from the negativity of the situation to the potential for growth, you transform your reaction to external turmoil. Rather than feeling overwhelmed or helpless, you approach the challenge with a sense of purpose. Practicing mindfulness and presence. Mindfulness, the practice of focusing on the present moment, is integral to Stoic philosophy. The Stoics recognized that much of our suffering comes from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. By grounding ourselves in the present moment, we can avoid getting lost in hypothetical fears or regrets and instead respond to what is happening now. In his writings, Epictetus advised his students to focus on the present, asking themselves whether their thoughts and actions were within their control. This practice encourages us to let go of worries about future outcomes or past mistakes, both of which are often outside our influence. By focusing on what is immediately in front of us, we can better navigate challenging situations without letting anxiety or regret cloud our judgment. Accepting impermanence and practicing gratitude. A key Stoic teaching is the acceptance of impermanence. Stoics remind us that life's circumstances, whether positive or negative, are always changing. This awareness of impermanence encourages us to appreciate the present moment, understanding that both joy and pain are temporary. When we accept that nothing lasts forever, we can learn to let go of our attachment to specific outcomes and instead find peace in the constant flow of life. Alongside this, practicing gratitude helps us focus on what we have rather than what we lack. Even in difficult times, gratitude encourages us to recognize the positives within our lives, however small they may seem. By maintaining a mindset of gratitude, we can find stability and contentment within ourselves, making it easier to withstand external challenges. The Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum. The Stoics had a unique exercise called premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of adversity. This practice involves mentally rehearsing potential hardships to prepare ourselves for when they might actually occur. By imagining possible difficulties, we reduce our emotional shock if they come to pass, and we become better equipped to respond calmly. While it might seem counterintuitive, imagining the worst can paradoxically reduce fear and anxiety. It helps us cultivate a sense of resilience by acknowledging that we can handle adversity if it arises. This practice builds a mental readiness that can make a real difference when we encounter unexpected turmoil, allowing us to face it with a calm and composed mind. Practical tips for embracing Stoicism in daily life. Daily reflection. Spend a few moments each day to reflect on what is in your control and what is not. Identify situations where you might be overreacting to things you cannot influence, and commit to focusing on your response instead. Set intentions aligned with virtue. Each morning, set an intention to embody one of the Stoic virtues. For example, you might focus on practicing courage in a challenging meeting or showing justice in a difficult conversation. Reframe challenges as opportunities. When faced with a difficult situation, take a moment to consider how it might help you grow. Reflect on what lesson or strength you can gain from it. Practice mindfulness. During moments of stress, ground yourself by focusing on your breath and the present moment. Remind yourself that the future is unknown and the past is unchangeable. Express gratitude. Make it a habit to note something you're grateful for each day, especially during challenging times. This practice can help you maintain a balanced perspective, even when things feel chaotic. Embracing tranquility amidst chaos. Stoicism offers a timeless blueprint for cultivating an unshakable inner peace, empowering us to face life's inevitable upheavals with courage and resilience. By recognizing what is in our control, practicing virtue, and reframing adversity, we can remain steady, compassionate, and purposeful regardless of what life throws our way. Stoicism teaches us that while we may not always have control over our circumstances, we always have control over how we choose to respond. This is the foundation of true tranquility, a calm and centered spirit, undisturbed by the noise of the world.